What is up, everyone? Welcome to Family Hot Dish, and today we're going to do a topic, and it derives from that show. It's a Netflix short series called The Program. It's about being in juvenile facilities and what it does to kids, and I have personal experiences, so I'm going to get into it, and I'll let you know my experience. So let's get right into it. First of all, that show, that Netflix series, so a little background. Now I'm 10 years sober. I was a kid. I'm not saying I'm a victim in this. I was a kid who definitely needed structure, needed to go to facilities, was breaking rules and in the world, breaking laws. So before I get into all this, I'm not saying at all like I was a victim or I shouldn't have ever been locked up. I should have been as a kid, and I was locked up into my adult years until I got sober at 24. March 28th, 2014. So my 10 years is coming up soon. But anyways, I want to talk about that series not only, but just my personal experiences. Now, here's what blew my mind. It was so relatable, and I mean, I was in several places. I don't care else. Lina Lakes, juvenile facility, Woodland Hills, Chisholm House, Boys Youth Ranch, or Sandy Youth Boys Ranch. There are so many, I can't really think of them all. But I'm watching the show, and I remember getting flipped over in my mattress if I fell asleep, them spitting in my face, the rules being so ridiculous. They would add time to your sentence, making me do phone calls to my parents or my mom. My dad died when I was 12, and to other family members, and them telling me what I had to say to move on to the next level, and just remembering and I'd have to tell my family like that wasn't a real thing that happened. They made me do it. Them faking that I failed UA, which I swear I did not use in there. Just saying I failed it, and I was like literally like I didn't, and then they held me in there longer. They added like I think 6 months to my sentence. It was an ongoing manipulation, and I wanted to put my story out there as well, just to say that's real. And now looking back, as you know, a sober adult coming up on 10 years, March 28th. And just seeing, and I have 5 kids of my own that I love dearly. I couldn't imagine, even if they're being naughty. Like I said, no victim role here, but seeing them go through that, or being in a place where they're getting spit on or thrown or assaulted. I mean, there's no other it's assault. And they're saying they're doing it to discipline you or structure you. You had to walk certain ways in some of them. And when I say this, I'm broadly saying all of them had different things. You know, they all had their different things. Some were more heavy on the manipulation mentally. Some were more heavy on the physical aspects. Some were more on the punishment, like turning cow manure. You're like knee high in it. Like just that show brought me back and it had me remembering all this stuff, because I forget. I've been doing my thing for a long time in life, and I remember going into adult jail, prison treatment, and just being shocked. I'm like, no one's messing with me. No one's messing with me. Like, what's going on? I'm like, so I just get to sit here and do my time? Let's talk about the medications that were in that show. They used to make me take all these medications, and if I didn't take them, I was in trouble. Okay? I couldn't go home. I couldn't graduate. I couldn't get out. And now looking back, you cannot give a kid, 12-year-old to all the way till I was 18, you cannot give a kid ultimatums to take harmful medication. And of course the kid's in the end going to do it. My mom was upset. It was just like such a horrible thing. And now looking back, I can't believe it. If some place was making my child take medication, obviously I get it. Technically not making you. Well, I mean, if they're telling you you can never leave unless you do it, of course the kid's going to do it. But that's why too I wanted to do this video, is just so if anyone can relate, or if anyone's going through it, or if your kid is in juvenile facilities, really do your research. Make sure what the place is about. Make sure that your kid is not getting that mental damage. And I understand the concept. They used to tell me things like, you will be dead when you're 20, whatever. Like, you will. you're dead. Like, and I'd just be like, okay, you know, and I'm like, you know, young boy, like, okay, weirdo. Like, I get what they were trying to drive at, but like, it was like they were like just so weird about it. Like, no, you're dead. Like, and I'd be like, oh, well, all right, dude. A little bit self-fulfilled prophecy too mentally, where I'd be like, okay, well, if I'm just gonna die and I'm just a loser, you know, and they'd say things like that. It's like, well, I guess that's what I am, right? So like my wife, who I've been with 14 years, she was just like, what? Was it like that? And like I was like watching the show and I could not believe it. I'm like, yes, that's my baby down there. I was like, yes, it was like that. Like, that's why and it did mess me up. It made me think the government was against us or me. The government didn't love me, didn't care. Evil, you know. It's just crazy looking back that, like, oh my gosh, that is so messed up to do to a kid. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe adults would sign up for that. I actually seen one of the people that was in one of those more abusive facilities, and they do the Thanksgiving thing that we go to every year, or Christmas thing. And I see them and they donate their time, clearly. A lot of people from AA that I know, not a lot, but I see some AA people that are doing that as well, obviously. But when I see that person, I sort of freeze, like, oh my gosh. When I first seen that person, my skin crawled. This is that same person that used to whisper in my ear, spit in my face, and they're donating their time for Christmas. I mean, maybe they turned it on and off like a light switch when they went into their shift, but I can't imagine. I just don't understand it. But anyways, that's really all I have right now. And if I think of more, if I ever do more videos on awareness of this, I will drop more videos, because it is a crazy topic that I don't ever talk about. That show got me thinking about it and remembering. And I finally was like, okay, well, let's make a video about it so there's more content out there and hopefully there's more justice and more of this stops. I understand locking kids up. I do, when they're being bad. But you don't have to mentally and physically torture them. That's where it's like, okay, let's figure out a different route, because that didn't help me. I told my wife that. I still to this day sleep with a towel over my head. And I'm not being a victim. I'm just saying, because I was so used to the lights always being on in cells and treatment and wherever, and that's in a weird way. I understand they got to be able to see you, but they could dim the light a lot more. I'm just pointing that out, just to the form of torture, and you couldn't sleep. You couldn't nap during the day, but they'd wake you up really early, so you would be exhausted, and you're a young kid, so of course you're going to want to take naps. And if you took naps, they flipped your mattress, spit in your face, scared you, tried to say they were going to mess you up, literally, like, we'll crush you, and, you know, and like, when they would be crushing other kids, I only once almost got restrained. I got spit on, all that, I got all the other things, like I just have been saying, but I never got restrained. I was close to one time, but he ended up not doing it. But, you know, watching other kids get restrained and they'd stare at you and they loved it. It's just creepy. But anyways, enough of my rambling. That's it for this one. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine with me. I'm just glad you're rocking with me. I hope that if you're somebody who has been through it, comment below. If you haven't and you're just interested or shocked or just want to say anything, go ahead. All I want to do is spread some awareness. That's the only reason I'm making this video. So hopefully this stuff stops. I mean, the government should stop it. I know it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation, like they said in the show, but it's got to stop. Everyone have a blessed one. Stay close to your loved ones. Stay close to your family. And if your kid is ever in a juvenile facility, you crack down and figure things out. We got the internet now, so you can figure out a lot. Everyone have a good one. Peace.